come on in because we are reviewing the Love Experiment season 1. We're on episode 5 and we still on this getaway. And things are popping off. I got a lot to talk about. And I don't even know if I'm going to be talking or if I'm just going to be asking y'all a bunch of questions because I'm just confused. If anybody knows who watches my channel, one thing I'm really big on is personal responsibility. One thing I always say is you really can't control what other people do. You can't. You can't control what other people do out here in the world, but all you can do is control your response. All you can do is control the way you respond, the way you react, the way you answer. That's all you can do. And let me tell you, this whole episode long, I didn't like none of the reactions. I didn't. I may not have liked what was done, but I even liked the reactions even less. I don't know if that makes any sense to people. I didn't like a lot of things that were done, but I didn't like the reactions of a lot of people on this show. And I'm trying to think, I know I'm older. I'm trying to think, was I this emotionally immature at their age? So I'm going to try to give them a little bit of slack because I've got to remember that they're only 28, 29, 30 years old, and I'm way older. Because I know that a lot of situations, how this stuff went down, I would not react. But I am thinking about myself now. I'm trying to remember, would I react this way when I was 30 years old? I don't know. But I'm going to have a lot of questions for y'all this video. A lot of questions because a lot of things I don't understand. We're going to talk about the two biggest things, of course, the T-Rex situation. And then we're going to talk about the being submissive situation. I don't even know why this still gets women ruffled. But we're going to break down that submissive thing. So hopefully we can get women to stop feeling some kind of way about that word because really the word means nothing. But let me go ahead and talk about this T-Rex thing. First of all, we're going to start with this story. The story that Mars was on the phone with Yannick and she hears Yannick say, she said Yannick said it. Now last week we thought she was trying to say that Jamal said it, but this week she clearly said Yannick said, there goes T-Rex. And that he was referring to Tam, as they call her for short, walking across the room. Was Tam there and Mars wasn't there? Why is Mars on the phone with Yannick and Tam is there, but Mars isn't there? I don't know. Like I said, I got a lot of questions. But anyway, first of all, I want to say this. For Yannick to say, there goes T-Rex, let's even forget about Jamal being in the picture, that he said it to Jamal. Because first we got to start with Yannick said it. Yannick was the one that said it. And not only did Yannick say it, he said it in front of Mars, who's supposedly Tam's best friend or good friend. So first of all, I'm side-eyeing Yannick first. He was the one that said it. You know what? We don't even know the response of Jamal. Yannick said it, and Yannick had the balls to say it in front of Mars, who's Tam's best friend. That sounds really weird to me. And if Mars did hear Yannick say it, then why isn't Yannick gone? She said it happened a while ago. It happened a few days ago. Haven't they had a chance to eliminate a person? Me personally, if I'm a friend, if I'm a Tam's friend, and Yannick says, there goes T-Rex, and I'm on the phone with Yannick, before I'm getting on Jamal, I'm getting on Yannick. And obviously I'm saying, you know what, you're going home now. Because if you would say this about my friend in front of me, what kind of stuff are you saying about me behind my back? That's the first problem I have. That's the first problem is, if it did come out Yannick's mouth, why is Yannick even still here? Is that the reason why he didn't get chosen to come on this retreat to the ski retreat? I don't know, but I feel like Yannick, they didn't even call Yannick. Put him on the phone. Second thing, we didn't even hear what Jamal said to Yannick afterwards. Even Mars said that when she asked Yannick, why did she say that? He is, me and Jamal, we just joke like that sometimes. So Yannick was real comfortable telling Mars that he and Jamal joke about Tam in the way that they call her T-Rex. I don't know if I believe it, and if it is the truth, then Yannick should have been gone a long time ago. And now I'm gonna move over to Mars telling Tam the story. So this next thing I'm gonna say. The next thing I'm gonna say is I don't feel like when Mars brought the information to Tam, she brought it to her in the full breadth of the conversation, right? Because she tried to make it pretend like it was Jamal who said it. And the truth of the matter is, it was Yannick who said it. And I think she needs to highlight that for Tam. So that when Tam went in and she confronted Jamal, because I do believe she should have confronted him and had a conversation. Do I believe it should have been a group conversation? I don't know. Maybe initially, but after a while, I think it should have gone off into a side conversation. But I actually think it was Jamal who should have made that a side conversation. That's what I'm going to get on him about later on. But let's go back to this point of when Mars even told Tam about it. I believe that Mars should have told Tam the situation and say, hey, this is what I do know. I do know that I was on the phone with Yannick, and Yannick says his comments about there goes T-Rex. But what I do want to make sure you know is I never heard Jamal's voice. I never heard Jamal's response. All I'm going off is what Yannick said. So I really don't have no clear, concrete evidence against Jamal. So it doesn't mean that she shouldn't ask Jamal, but she shouldn't come in there with the heat she came in with. That heat that she came in there with Jamal was too much heat. That's a person who isn't able to control her emotions. That's what we're finding out about Tam. Tam's real tough on the outside. She presents this real tough exterior, but on the inside, she's a mess. She doesn't know how to regulate her emotions. And let me tell you, I'm going to go back to my statement. It's not about what people do to you. It's about how you handle it. Even when she was jumping all over Mars in front of people, that was wrong. Why is she attacking Mars in front of all these people because Mars didn't tell her at the time she felt she should? That's fine if you didn't believe that, but the way you're handling it is wrong. Attacking Mars and your friend in front of all these people was wrong. If I'm Mars, I'm thinking to myself, dang, okay, maybe I should have told you sooner, but for you to be attacking me as if I'm the bad guy, that's wrong too. Tam handled this situation all wrong. She handled it wrong with Mars. She handled it wrong with Jamal. And I'm not saying that Jamal and Mars couldn't have done something different because I just ran down what I thought Mars should have done differently. But the way Tam handled it was completely different. And I'll tell you this, all that getting on Jamal, right? I thought that was too much because she doesn't really have concrete evidence. Now, the way that Jamal dismissed her after saying it a couple of times, I didn't like that either. I think what he should have done was when she wasn't settled with his answer, when he said, you know what, I didn't have nothing to do with this. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do it. And she doesn't believe him. She clearly doesn't believe him. And then he says, well, don't ask me again, please. No, that was wrong. What he should have done was say, hey, let's go outside and talk. Because I really want you to know sincerely that I didn't do it. Because the way that Jamal was dismissing her, it didn't come off sincere like he didn't do it. It almost felt like I just don't want to talk about it anymore. He tried to act like he was so appalled, so offended that you would ask me this question. He was just dismissing it. I didn't like that dismissing of her. And I'm going to tell you, this is not the first time we've seen a man dismiss Tam. Remember, Kenny dismissed Tam and she took it then too. Now we got Jamal dismissing her. Tam comes off as the toughest girl in the room, but the truth of the matter is she's actually the most sensitive. She's actually the most sensitive. And I'm going to tell you this, when people see you being treated a certain kind of way, they sometimes believe they can say it to you too. Because everybody witnessed when Kenny dismissed Tam, and we saw how she took that. We saw how she took it. She took it. Now, Jamal is sitting up here dismissing her the same kind of way. Jamal should have pulled her inside and said, hey, let's go outside because I can see you're upset. I can see that you really don't believe me. I want to go outside and talk to you to let you know there is no way I would say it about you. I didn't do it. I care about you. And really, really hone in on her to really settle her down. She was really riled up. She was really riled up. And you know what? She's going on and on talking about this is why I don't let my walls down. First of all, Tam is only 30 years old. She's only 30 years old. How many men have run over Tam? Is this what's happening to women at their 30s? Are women getting run over by so many men by the age of 30 that they're as traumatized as Tam is? I don't understand this. No, this trauma with Tam of not trusting and walls up, this was probably long before she started even dating men. This is just an excuse. Tam got some stuff going down in her childhood that creates this sort of insecurity, this sort of flee or fight type of mentality that she has. This wasn't all created by some men up until her 30s. How many men has she run into that has run over her? Like I say, it's not about what people do to you. It's about how you respond to people. I don't believe that Tam has run into any more trifling men than any other woman out here in the street. No. And at the age of 30, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. She acts like she's had a disproportionate number of men running over her. So this is the way she's got to act. The minute somebody says something about her, she doesn't act. No, I believe this is how she acts all the time. And she doesn't know how to regulate her emotions. Right? Because plenty of women can be in the same situation where a person called them a name and they wouldn't handle it the way Tam did. She went from 0 to 100 the way that she didn't even handle the conversation with Jamal correctly. She didn't. All that passive aggressive, oh, I guess you like dinosaurs. And he's over there talking about, what are you talking about, Jurassic Park? What are you talking? That's so immature. All that subtle jazz because you got your feelings so hurt. You all in your feelings and you haven't even discussed the problem yet, but you sitting over here in your feelings talking about Jurassic Park, all this underhanded, undermining stuff. That stuff is immature. Immature. Emotionally immature. You know what? I'm with Mari. When she went to Mari and she told Mari, hey, I want to tell you what's been going down with me and Jamal. One of Mari's response to her, which I like, was, I'm not so concerned about Jamal. You know who I'm concerned about? You. How did you handle it? And that's what a good counselor should do, because Tam is Mari's, client, whatever you want to call. Mari's here for Tam. Mari's here to help Tam grow. She wants to invest in not what Jamal does, whether he's trifling or not. What Mari wants to invest in is, how do you show up when you meet trifling people? Because that's where the real lessons are. The real lessons aren't in me telling you about Jamal. My real lessons are helping you. That's why some people get mad at me and say I'm hard on the women. Because really, truthfully here, I'm trying to help the women. I'm trying to help the women. Because women, you're going to encounter more than one Jamal. You're going to encounter more than whoever bothers you. So if you're trying to help a person, I'm trying to help you. I'm not here trying to help Jamal. Mari says, I'm more concerned with how do you deal with situations when situations like this come up. Because if you don't learn how to deal with situations like this, you're not even going to know how to deal with them in no real relationship for a guy you really care about. This is just a test run. This is just practice. Even if you don't stay with Jamal, this is good practice. How do you handle yourself in this moment when a person says something about you that you don't even know to be true? You don't have no real facts. Your feelings are hurt. How do you handle it? And she handled it all wrong. She handled it all wrong. And in the end, she kept Jamal. So she did all this kerfuffle. She did all this yelling and screaming, all this fighting, all this. And in the end, she kept Jamal. The same thing she did to Kenny. The same thing she did to Kenny. When Kenny sat up there and said all that stuff to her, she kept Kenny. That sent a message. And did you see when she kept Jamal? Did you see Jamal's grin on his face? He went. It was almost as if he said to himself, I really wish she would have cut me. I really wish she would have cut me, because what Jamal saw, he didn't like. I'm telling you right now, what Jamal saw, he didn't like. And so what? You know what? And we already know Jamal got a history of the cheating. We know that we don't know if this is true or not that he said it. What surprised me, that makes me kind of think it did kind of happen. Part of me thinks, I don't know if it's completely fake or if it happened, but the part of me that surprised me the most about Jamal was Jamal didn't say, hey, let's call up Yannick. Maybe it's a bro code. Maybe Yannick is the one that's been saying it. Maybe Yannick is the one that has been referring to Tam as T-Rex. And maybe Jamal really did hear it. Doesn't mean that Jamal agreed, but maybe Jamal didn't check Yannick. I don't know. Maybe it isn't Jamal's opinion. Maybe Yannick said it. Jamal heard it over the phone. I don't know what the situation is, but I believe they really didn't get to the root of the problem. They either need to wait until they get back and talk to Yannick, or they should have called Yannick up on the phone. They should have called Yannick up on the phone. And I don't know why Jamal didn't suggest that. I don't know if he didn't suggest it because he actually did it. And I don't know if he didn't suggest it because he's saying, I can't believe that she really believes I would say this, but I'm not necessarily going to throw Yannick up under the bus. I don't know. But I believe it wasn't handled with a measured response. Like I said, I'm not happy I'm not happy with any person's way they handled this. I'm not happy with the way that Mars delivered the information. I'm not happy with the way that Tam attacked Mars. I'm not happy with the way that Tam approached Jamal. I'm not happy with the way that Jamal responded to Tam. I'm not happy with none of it. None of it. The only person I'm actually really kind of like was that Mari did at some kind of way said, I need to isolate you, Tam, and concentrate on how you react. How do you handle the situation versus us just going to talking about your feelings, because Tam gets all in her feelings and then she loses her logic. She can't find her way because her emotions have overtaken her so much. Now she already talking about putting her walls up. What? Your walls are, first of all, this idea that your walls can only come down for a person that never hurt you is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Your walls ain't gonna never come down because people are gonna always hurt you. Your mama gonna hurt you. Your daddy gonna hurt you. Your kids gonna hurt you. A friend is gonna hurt you. And you gotta learn how to deal when people do something that hurts you, how you bounce back. This idea that the reason my walls are up is because somebody hurt me. Good Lord, we all been hurt. But we all can't walk around with 10-foot walls around because then we can never connect with anybody. You got walls up because one person hurt you, but guess what you're doing? You also blocking off all the people that are here to love you. This is just ridiculous. I don't want to hear nobody talking about my walls are up because a man I just met a week ago might have called me T-Rex. Really? That gets your walls put all the way back up? Good Lord. Good Lord. And now we can move on to the next disaster situation, the whole conversation about submission. First of all, I'm going to need Paige just to admit that she got rid of Chris because she knew she wasn't going to have no sex. Let's just be real. Now, I'm not saying she doesn't really disagree with Chris, but it became the way she got rid of him. Let's just be real. Paige was never going to be with Chris because, like I said, Paige is horny. Paige is horny. She'd rather go back over here with this Justin guy who slept with two sisters than to be with a man because a man mentioned the word submission. Submission. Man, is that all you got to do to get rid of a woman now? Man, the next time you're trying to get rid of a woman, from what we're hearing out here in the streets now, is all you got to tell her is, I want a woman who's submissive. Woo! I guess the word submissive is like calling a woman the N word, the B word. I mean, good Lord, has the word submission become the biggest hot word out here to get rid of a woman? Now, man, now you know how to get rid of a woman. If a woman is trying to get with you and you tired of her, you ain't got to cheat on her. You ain't got to do nothing wrong to her. You ain't got to call her no name. You ain't even got to stop calling her and texting her. No, what you do is you call her and you text her, and all you got to do is say the word submission. And this is the way you get rid of women nowadays. Just say the word submission. Really, women? Does the word submission have that much power in your life now that all of a sudden now Paige is getting rid of this man who seemed like an honorable man? She got rid of him over dinner. She got rid of this man over dinner, over the fact that he said he believes in a hierarchy. First of all, there is hierarchy in the world. You over your kids, that's a hierarchy. Your boss is over you at your job, that's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy. Does it mean that you're never in the leader in a certain role? No. People are over me all the time as a woman, but there's other parts of my life where I'm a leader. Good Lord, I don't understand why this word is creating so much kerfuffle over here. I submit to my boss at work, right? What is this idea that we don't submit to anybody? We do. We submit to authority all the time. All the time. This idea that we never have to submit to anybody in the world or take a back seat or take the second position in any type of relationship is false. It's ridiculous. You take a back seat, a second position a lot of times. Sometimes you do it with your own parents. Your kids do it to you. You do it at work. You do it in a lot of situations. So I don't understand why women are all in kerfuffle saying that there are not some situations in a marriage where you take a back seat. Women need to get over this idea that in all situations in their marriage, a man really want to be controlling all you. Says it's not true. Just do an experiment. When a man says he wants to be the leader, he wants you to submit to them, maybe the first thing you should start doing is asking questions. Asking questions, because I think a lot of women don't really understand what men are saying, because men don't really want to make all these decisions in your life anyway. Test it out, ladies. If you married or got a boyfriend, test it out. Start calling your man, your boyfriend, your husband for every decision. Say, you know what? You're going to make him the king of you today. Think of all the decisions you make throughout the day. Think of all of them, from your kids to your job, every decision you make. We make thousands of decisions a day. We do as people. Start calling your man and ask them, hey, I'm just calling you to ask you what do you want to eat for dinner? He goes like, I don't care, whatever you want to cook. No, I need to know because you're the man and I want to submit to you. Just start asking. Start asking about your kids. Hey, I was going to get Joshua ready to go to school today and I was going to pick out some clothes, but I don't know. What do you think I should put on him? You guys be like, I don't care what you put on him. What difference does it make? Start asking them all these questions they say they want to be the leaders over. Start asking them. They want to be the leader. They want you to submit to their authority over what they say, the hierarchy. What you start realizing is men really don't want to be the boss of that much stuff. Women make the majority of decisions. Women, we have a quiet power. You want to decorate the house? Most men, you decorate it the kind of way you want to. What you going to eat for dinner? Most men don't care. What you going to pick up at the grocery store? Most men don't care. What you do with the kids? Most men don't care. Most men don't care about the majority of decisions you're making as a woman every single day. Every single day, most men don't care. And let me tell you, when you actually start going to them and asking them for direction, most of the time they'll be like, I don't care. Why are you coming to me and asking me these questions? Women are so riled up over this word submission. I'm going to submit to a man. And when a man says that, they're not really giving any thought to exactly which decisions is he talking about. Because the day-to-day decisions, men don't even want to have nothing to do with that. Test it out. You think I'm lying? You think I'm lying? Test it out. Prove me wrong. Go to your man today. Make it a day of submitting to your man. And go to him today and ask him before you do anything every day, all day long. Go to him and ask him what he wants you to do. And after a while, he's going to get tired of it. And he's going to tell you, do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to do. So this whole conversation with Paige and any woman having this whole conversation with Paige and Chris is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And to be honest with you, Paige does need an authority over her because she makes bad decisions. Paige is a bad decision maker, period. So she absolutely does need somebody to help her with some decision making. I would submit to Paige. The decision making I've seen from Paige, no way would I submit to her. If I'm a man with Paige, why the hell would I submit to you, Paige? Your decision making is horrible. Horrible. So now we throwing away men like Chris who want to step up, who want to be leaders, who want to provide. But you throwing him away over dinner because all of a sudden he says, I do want to be the hierarchy in our house. I want to be the leader in the house. Over what? That's what you should have said. Over what decisions? Instead of saying, no, I'm never going to submit to me, you should have gone a level deeper. You should have had a conversation. Authority over what? Over what? It was the same conversation I told people about this 50-50. I want men to pay all the bills. I'm not going 50-50. 50-50 over what? Over what? People stop at words. They don't have deeper conversations. You want me to submit over what? What decisions? What we going to eat for dinner? Where the kids going to go to school? What the kids going to wear today? What? Over what? How we decorate the house? What? What do you want me to submit to? What decisions? Because you'll find that some of the decisions the men want to be leaders over, these decisions don't even come that often. They don't even come that often. They be decisions that come once a year. Even if it's over what house we going to buy. How often do you buy a house? Women are the leaders. I don't know why women think that they really submit to men. Women really are the leaders in a house. They really are. When I look at the decisions I make, what my husband makes, I'm telling you, my decisions far outweigh his. I make way more decisions than him. Because you know what? We handle so much more. We're handling kids. It's just as women, we are the leaders of our house. We really are. You ever heard the saying, a house is not a home without a woman? A woman makes a house a home. Well, if the woman makes the house a home, who you think are making the majority of the decisions in the house? It's the woman. Ask the deeper questions, lady, before you start throwing men away over the word submission. Don't just assume that the word submission that he's using is what you're thinking in your head. This even where we go on vacation, when we get ready to go on vacation, I say, hey, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here. We come up with a list. Sometimes we alternate. This year I go maybe where I want to go. Next year we go maybe where my husband wants to go. But more majority of the time, what do you want all the decisions on where we go to vacation? Ask these questions. Hey, do I need to submit to you on where we go for vacation? He may say, no, I don't care. You can pick where we go, but we may need to decide over the budget. I don't know. Ask the questions on what level of submission he's even asking you about. But Paige just threw this man over dinner. Did they even get through the appetizers? Did they even get through the appetizers? How far did they even get into dinner before Tam was all over Jamal and before Paige was dismissing Chris over the word submission? Sit that man all the way home to go what? Run back to Justin, who's turning up at the house drinking, talking about I don't care about these women. Ugh. Paige may be lucky she going back in the lounge to choose, or the hall they called it, to choose another man. She gonna choose wrong again. Paige's picker is off. Paige's decision making is off. Paige is ruled by her loins, her sex. Like I said, she got rid of this man only because she knew she wasn't gonna have no sex with him. When they was in that hot tub, he made it really clear and simple that no, you're not gonna tempt me to have sex before marriage. You're not gonna tempt me to have sex before marriage. And after that, Paige was talking about, oh, well, I like that. You know what? I admire that. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. She was wanting the chance to break him all the way down in that hot tub. She wanted didn't to say, you know what? Didn't want to have sex, but you so hot, girl, you going to make me want to have it now. That's what Paige really wanted. That's what Paige wanted. Once Paige realized that Chris was holding firm and steady, she came up with this whole other reason to get rid of somebody over the word submission. The word submission that don't even mean nothing. Women, don't let this be the downfall of any relationship you have with a man, fighting over the word submission. Submission over what? What decisions? Give me specifics. Specifics. I don't want to talk in no general terms. I'm tired of people basing relationships over general terms that everybody has different definitions of nowadays. That's one thing you see on these shows. Everybody defines words differently. They define words differently. You no longer can just hear a word and not ask questions about what that person really means by that word, because we no longer can all agree on the definition of words anymore. And that's okay, which means you're very dangerous out here hearing a word you don't like and then reacting off that word based on what you know, because what you got to ask yourself is, what did they mean by that word? That's where you got to go now in conversations, because if you just go off what you think the word means, you may react wrong. That may not even be the way the person intended it. Maybe the person is using the wrong word. I do it all the time on this show. Sometimes I use certain words, people be all over me, and I'm like, well, that's not really what I intended from the word. And when we start talking each other down in the comments, I realize we actually agree. Maybe we're using different words for it, but the underlying reasoning of it all, what we think of the word, we actually agree on that. Now, do we use different words for it? Yeah. But the way I'm thinking about it is I actually agree with you. No difference. You know, we got to go a little bit deeper. We got to have more sophisticated conversations. And all these conversations with Tam, Paige, Mars, it was low level. Like I said, it's a level of emotional immaturity. I don't know if it's because they're young or what, but there was a whole lot of emotional immaturity going on in these conversations. And Mars, I don't even know why she got to shine around. This is a reverse. We always talk about men out here trying to date other women for fetishes, and we talk about the Genie Mind, Jeezy, the fetish stuff. This is what Mars is doing. She just want to see what it's like to go out with a white dude. That's all this is. She don't have no sexual attraction to him whatsoever. She just wanted to see what it's like to go out with a white dude. And I don't even know why she's still playing with this. Why is she still playing with this? Why is she still wasting a pick on him? What, to prove that she's open to something different? No, she's not. No, she's not. Mars wants to believe she's gotten rid of this sort of street way of, dealing with these street thugs, these street men going to jail. But she's not over it. She's not over it, because I know the way that she's presenting it, the way she handled both Tam and Paige, she handled it like she was out in the street. Even when Paige was going up against Chris and saying, Paige was like, I want to get rid of Chris, Mars' advice to Paige was horrible. Horrible. She said, girl, that ain't you. That ain't you. That ain't you. That ain't you. She actually encouraged Paige to break up with Chris. She didn't really bring no reasoning to the conversation. She didn't bring no reasoning. I don't know. Same thing she did with Tam. She didn't bring no reasoning to the conversation. She just threw it out there to her and let Tam go wild with it. Same thing she did with Paige. She threw it out there. I didn't like the way I'm not liking the way Marcia is communicating neatly. I'm not even like the way Marcia is even showing up for some of her friends. I don't. I'm telling you right now. I don't like it. A part of me also thought Mars liked Jamal, to be honest with you. I remember when Tam picked Jamal. I'm telling you, I remember when Tam picked Jamal, I felt like Mars liked Jamal. She was talking about how good he looked. Ooh, he wearing that sweater even in the talent show. She's like, ooh, girl, he wearing that sweater. There was a part of me that thought Mars liked Jamal. I'm not going to go too deep in it because I don't have no real evidence of it. But a part of me thought that. I could be wrong. But Mars's advice to Paige, this is why women they do need aunties like myself, or they need an auntie in their life, or they need a Mari in their life. Because sometimes your girlfriends at your same age level, they don't have the maturity and the wisdom to help you rise to another level because they're at your level. You all the same level because you're all the same age. So there's no one in there to help elevate you to the next level. Because what Mars is doing to Paige and what Mars was doing to Tam was she was helping Tam and Mars stay on the same level where they are. She was telling them to react the same way you always react. That's no elevation. She was saying, hey, here's the situation. I'm going to need you to react the way you normally react. Well, that's not elevation. She's telling Paige, this is not you, girl. She wasn't saying, Paige, maybe this isn't a bad situation. It may not be you, but maybe you could elevate and kind of maybe handle this a different kind of way. She wasn't telling Tam, maybe you need to elevate and handle this a different kind of way. She was basically telling Paige and Mars, I need you to handle it the same way you handle it, the way we handle it out here in these streets. Mars is from the street life too. She says the men are just from the street life. But let me tell you, you can't hang out with men from the street life if your brain ain't from the street life. So she wants to put it on the men that the men are thugs and they going to jail. But the truth of the matter is Mars got the same mentality. Because you can't have a different mentality and hang out with those men. So this mentality is she's advising Paige and this mentality she's advising Paige and Tam over. It's kind of like street life mentality. Street life. You just handle it. It's no thought to it. It's all reactionary. We need more Mari. Mari, we need you to show up more because these women are a mess. They need a lot of help. They need a lot of help. They need a lot of growing up. And if they don't learn their lessons, they're going to keep repeating them. These women are starting to think that it's all the men. Nope. You always going to counter men like this, no matter if you 20 or if you 60 years old. It's not about who comes into your life or who says things to you. It's how you handle it. That's how you grow. You grow by handling situations differently. You don't grow by eliminating all these people from your life or never allowing these people in your life or putting up walls. That's not how you grow. You grow by learning how to handle them, how to handle situations, not by insulating yourself from situations, but how you grow from those situations and learn how to handle it. And these women right now, they all stuck. They busy out here moving men around, plugging men in and out the lie. When in reality, they need to stop plugging men in and out. They need to change the way they behave, the way they choose and the way they react. That's what they need to concentrate on. Not so much moving men in and out of their life, but how do they react? How do they make decisions? How do they come back from situations? That's where the real work needs to be done for these ladies, the real work. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.